Stop being nice. Hey guys, my name is Jeff Bruce and welcome to The Jeff Bruce. Today we're going to talk about assertiveness and how to stop being so nice. Listen, we were created for relationships. One of the things that sets God apart, the God of the Bible, is that he enjoys relationships. He has a triune relationship with himself and he desires relationship with his creation as well. Back in the ancient Near East, that was unheard of with the different gods that the people believed in. So if we think about it, we all want to have great friendships. We want to have a loving relationship with our spouse or our future spouse. We want to have great relationships with our kids. All this is innate within us. But another part of who we are is our self-awareness. We want to know who we are, and we also really desire purpose and value in our life. This is one of the many things that sets us apart from the rest of creation. I mean, why do you think the like button was such a success in social media? Because people want to know that people like and value their content, their comments, their pictures, whatever it might be. Trust me, no other creature in all creation really cares about this. But when something happens or separates us from a relationship and we feel like our purpose or our value is being threatened, we tend to become passive. We become nice as a way of coping with the situation. It's a coping mechanism. And then the first thing to go is our own needs and our own boundaries. And so we become nice to everyone in hopes of avoiding any kind of threats. And really unknowingly through all this, we make ourselves more vulnerable. I think sometimes, or really most of the time, this change of meeting our needs to meeting exclusively the needs of others, it just kind of happens without us knowing it. We just sort of slip into it. You might even say that niceness becomes somewhat addictive, but we're not addicted to meeting our own needs. We're addicted to meeting the needs of others. And that sounds very nice and compassionate, right? But there's a problem with it. Our motive for being nice is no longer genuine. We're just being nice to avoid any kind of threat or to avoid fear in our lives. Now, the way to know and become aware of your niceness is actually pretty simple. In fact, I think probably deep down you know it. You feel that there's a problem. Maybe it's that you're drowning in work, but really it's everyone else's work because you can't say no to anyone. Maybe there is this feeling of stress and anxiety because you've embraced the victim mentality. Or maybe, and ultimately, there's a feeling of resentment and bitterness towards others. So these are all related and they're all signs of niceness. So like I said, I mean, being nice isn't bad. It's not wrong if we're truly just trying to be kind to others. But if we're doing it to be liked or heard or accepted, that's when it's a problem. And the opposite of niceness, assertiveness, isn't necessarily mean. And I think that's kind of a fear that people have about being assertive. Am I going to come across as mean or pushy or arrogant? But really, that's just overthinking. It's putting thoughts into your head that don't exist in the minds of other people. You've probably heard before that you can't control other people's emotions, their responses, the way they receive things, that's up to them. They're in control of that, just like you're in control of your emotions. Now, I guess if you are intentionally sort of poking at their emotions, trying to impose some kind of threat or fear in them, yeah, you're no longer being assertive, you're being aggressive. But assertiveness respectfully speaks truth. It shows empathy, it shows compassion to others, but it meets the need of the self and it keeps boundaries intact. So how do we get there? Today, I'm going to give you three simple, these are level 1 steps that you can start today to begin to stop being so nice and be more assertive. Number 1, be assertive with nonverbal communication. This one is simple and you can do it immediately. We've all heard that most communication happens non-verbally and not with our words. Now, by body language, I'm not talking about obscene gestures or anything like that, as tempting as it may be, but what we're talking about is posture and eye contact. So one of the easiest ways to stop being nice and being assertive is by standing up straight and having your shoulders and your head back. Now, I'm not talking about being like crazy weird and walking around like this, because that just looks weird and people are going to think you're just odd and stupid. So don't do that. But just have a comfortable posture with your shoulders back. Some people actually call this a type of power pose because it really gives you a rush of confidence. It makes you feel like a leader when you're standing this way. But the opposite is that we just tend to be slouching with our head down. And what that communicates is just submission, that we're passive, that we really don't care. If you think about like dogs, right? When dogs meet each other, one of them usually submits, and they do that by rolling over on their back and putting their paws up in the air because they're submissive. And so even though standing up straight may not communicate assertiveness, it won't be communicating passivity. And the second part of that, like I said, is eye contact. Eye contact communicates that you're confident in yourself. Now, you don't want to have this weird kind of deep stare into somebody's eyes because that gets a little creepy. But just kind of looking casually doesn't mean that you can't occasionally look off to the side. But again, the opposite of just kind of staring off to the side is just kind of like this puppy dog sort of submission. Sorry, I'm not sure what's with the dog analogies today. I don't know. Number 2 is take compliments well. Nice people can't take compliments. I guess the thought is that it just feels arrogant or just not deserved because they've already devalued themselves so much. But honestly, the person giving the compliment wouldn't have given it had they not thought that you deserved it. So just simply say, thank you so much, I appreciate that. They're going to feel good about giving you the compliment and you're going to feel good as well. It's a really simple way to be more assertive and be more confident and not just be a passive nice guy or girl. In the same way, don't hesitate to give compliments. It expresses the way that you really feel, plus it's something that leaders do. Tell people, hey, great work today. I'm proud of you, or this food is delicious. Whatever it might be, whatever's on your mind, say it and let people feel good. And when you do this, you position yourself as a confident leader. People love to hear it, and it's a great first step to begin to speak up for yourself. So before we get to number 3, I want to segue to something that I think is really important, especially if you are a Christian. If you've grown up in a Christian home, you've been involved in the church, there's this tendency to be passive, to be nice. It's something that I think unintentionally we get conditioned to do. There is this mindset that if we make anybody a little bit uncomfortable, if we offend them in any way, even unintentionally, then we're just not a good person. We're not a good follower of God. And that's just not the truth. God gave you a voice to use, to speak up, and we use that voice to defend others and to defend ourselves as well. You have a voice and you have opinions, and people need to hear those things. You may bring tremendous value to their lives by speaking up. All right, that was my real short sermon. Let's get to number 3. Number 3 is give your opinion. Nice people don't give opinions. I think they think their opinion might kind of squash somebody else's, and they don't want to make them feel bad. They don't want to rob anyone of what they might want to do. But just like compliments, people ask your opinion because they want to hear it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have asked your opinion. So just give it. If someone says, hey, where would you like to go to lunch today? Don't just say wherever, anything is fine, whatever you want to do is great with me. Speak up and say, hey, listen, there's this new burger place in town. I would love to go there. And once again, just the way that you speak up shows that you're a leader and you're confident and you're assertive. Does it sound mean or aggressive? No, it just sounds like you have an opinion and you're willing to give it. So I said in the beginning, these are really level 1 steps that you can take to start to use your voice, your God-given voice that God gave you so that you can find purpose and value in your life. Use the voice God's given you. So my encouragement to you is to begin to implement these right away. Let me know in the comments below what the results are. I would love to see how these things are impacting your life. As a bonus to all this, if you can get a friend or a spouse involved to hold you accountable, it'll help you get along further. Have them put you to the test every once in a while. Have them ask your opinion or give you a compliment and test how you respond. Share with them each day the successes and the failures that you have so that they can help build you up and encourage you to do better. Thank you so much for checking out the Jeff Bruce. I'd love it if you subscribe to the channel. See you next time. Hey guys, I totally forgot to show you one of the best resources that I used to stop being so nice and to be more assertive. It's called the Assertiveness Workbook. You can see it there by Dr. Randy Patterson. I'll put the link to this book in the description. It's great just for starting to understand what steps you can take practically on an everyday basis to become more assertive. So check this out. If you get it from the link in the description or from my website, then I get a little kickback without any extra expense to you. So consider that. That would be really nice. You guys are the best. See ya.